Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a magnetic excursion update Friday, January 24th, around 9:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 2025. The iguana apocalypse it has emerged. Falling iguanas are possible Saturday morning in central and northern Florida. When it drops below 45, iguanas can fall out of trees. They're immobilized, but they're not dead, and they are delicious. Keep calm. It's iguana boom time. Well, a big relief in North Carolina as residents describe meeting with Trump after feeling ignored from the Biden administration. Same thing in California. Trump lands in LA just 4 days after his inauguration to visit the fire zone as the region braces for weekend rain and potential mudslides. But the good news, the fires will be out. And Trump, pointed out some of the problems with their fire mitigation efforts. And currently there are 9 fires listed in Southern California. These will all be quenched in just a few days. The good news, the big fire yesterday, the Laguna fire, has been put out due to the amazing work of these firefighters, as well as the Hughes fire, a huge assault with over 4,000 firefighting officials, has protected all the homes in Castaic. Holy macaroni. We do have a fire burning uncontrolled on the border called Border 2 Fire. And the good news is that's burning towards Mexico. So we don't really care about that much. But we do have the falling iguana situation possible in the next few hours. Iguanas are now going to sleep, and they are falling out of trees as we speak in Florida. The Florida freeze could cause iguanas to tumble from trees, especially tonight, known as torpor. This cold, stunned state involves the iguanas slowing down their metabolic rate to conserve energy. Now, in previous years, when temperatures were forecast to drop in the 40s, the National Weather Service in Miami issued a falling iguana warning, and we've got one tonight. So buckle up, Buttercup. The white meat will be falling from the trees. And there is record cold to kick off the weekend. Factor in the wind, and it will feel more like the 20s and 30s across southwest Florida. Holy macaroni. We'll get those thermodynamics in just a minute, but here's the full forecast. A storm brings rain and snow to the southwest U.S. this weekend with heavy snow and rain for Alaska. A storm will pass through the southwestern U.S. this weekend with widespread rain and mountain snow. Rainfall will be mostly beneficial, but poses a risk for dangerous debris flows over recent burn scars. A significant winter storm will impact Alaska through the weekend with heavy snow across western Alaska and heavy rainfall across south central with strong winds and marine coastal impacts. So buckle up, Buttercup, and click on your county for more information. Freeze warnings up for most of the southeast. Oh, what happened there? As you can see, those blue counties all the way down to central Florida there. And the frost warnings extend all the way towards Miami and Naples. It's going to be a brisk one, and the iguanas will certainly suffer. So heed the warning as falling iguanas are upon us in the morning. Quick look at the GFS model and total precipitated moisture. You can see Southern California there starting Sunday will be picking up heavy moisture, and that is needed to fan the flames in all those fires. These regions haven't seen precipitation like this in months, and maybe in some areas up to a year. But it's good news that this precipitation will be falling down and backed up by a February to actually drench the region. Take a look at that. We could be seeing record-breaking rain totals over 4 inches coming through the first week of February. And a quick look at total snowfall. Looks like epic snow through the end of winter and into the spring. Ding, ding. Which is good news for areas like Iowa, which hasn't seen much snow at all this winter, and areas like us that haven't seen any snow at all. And pipes and septic systems are busting all around the region, and there is no one that can come out to do your service because they're that backed up. We, in fact, had a catastrophic sewage problem today with the freezing conditions at our home. It's been below -10 for a week, and that means the ground has frozen to a depth of 3 feet, which is freezing our septic and, well, hundreds of others in the region. Prayers go out to all those affected. Now, if these models hold true, we're going to be seeing some epic snowfall as we enter spring. Ding, dang, this is the beginning of February. Holy macaroni. But what we really have to worry about is this storm that has been on the models day after day for 4 days straight. Something is happening in the south as we end the month and enter February. Here's January 29th, 30th, 31st, and February 1st. Something big is about to happen in New Mexico, Texas, maybe even Oklahoma. The models are still all over the place and shifting, but buckle up. Something is about to happen in these regions. Holy macaroni. Seismic update. No quakes of note. Biggest rumblers today, a 5.3 blot echo in Peru. Who knew? Now you do. 5.7 in Papua New Guinea. At the surface, that's over, Johnny. Look at this. No quakes in the U.S., just one rumbler above 2.5 in Coachella, California, 2.8. Worldwide volcano news for the day, Friday, the 24th of January. Liwatobi to 6,000 feet. Liwatobi to 7,000 feet. Semadu, who knew, 15,000-foot blast there. Sangay to 21. Reventador, 14,000-foot puff. Ibu, puffing and passing today. Santiaguito to 14. Popo to 20,000. Take a look at Conleon. Ash emissions going on there at low levels. Medapi, puffing and passing. An eruption reported today. Ibu, eruption last reported from the ground. Sangay, no volcanic ash. Sakurajima, 8,000-foot puff. Conleon, 9,000-foot blast. Santiaguito to 14. Reventador, 14,000-foot puff there. Nevado de Ruiz, 20,000-foot blast. Sakurajima, 8,000-foot. And Conleon, 9,000-foot puff. Ibu to 7. Ducono to 7,000 feet. Popo to 19. Semeru to 15,000 feet. Wrapping up the list for the day. Hey, hey. Quick look at space weather. We did have a limb eruption earlier this morning. This is due to some sunspots that may be making their way into view in the next few hours. Holy macaroni. There is an M flare also as well. I wonder where that came from. Well, I do digress. But the 3-day geomagnetic forecast from multiple flare and a plasma filament, we're waiting for a G1 geomagnetic storm to emerge. And it appears as if, well, nothing is happening on telemetry. In fact, plasma speed has been dropping off over the last 4 hours while density is increasing. So we'll wait for this phi angle to shift to the south and cross our fingers for potential aurora. But right now, bad news, folks. Nothing is happening. Strange blobs have been found inside Earth where no such blob should exist. The only problem is that, well, no one knows what's supposed to be inside the Earth, and for the fact that they write an article saying, we know what should be in there, and these blobs shouldn't exist, is probably the dumbest title ever that a science writer could write. How the heck do they think they know what we should know? Because if you didn't know, the deepest we've drilled in Earth is just a few tens of kilometers, and the Earth is thousands of miles across. So we've barely penetrated the surface, yet we know what should be inside the Earth. This is the problem with science these days. people claiming that there's something called a consensus or anything like that does not even understand the premise of science. Science is an ongoing investigation into the nature of the universe, and well, it's never settled. Lee and I will be discussing the problems with the science tomorrow on the radio show. We will also cover who were the devil humans who walked on volcanic debris. They weren't satanic or devil humans. They were hominids that just happened to be walking in the region, but some idiot called a science writer wrote that headline for clicks, not for science. And more anti-science here. Fear mongers abound on the Great Barrier Reef. And how easy is it to write a hit piece and claim that coral bleaching on the Great Barrier Reef is reaching catastrophic levels? The only problem is they didn't check on the reef itself, which in 2023 and 2024 have the highest coral cover ever recorded in human history. These idiots will be exposed tomorrow on Revolution Radio in Studio B, right here, noon Mountain Time, with Lee and I as we break it all down. Join us. And if you haven't heard, Trump's border czar is telling ABC that military planes will deport migrants every day forever. And also, Pete Hegseth was just confirmed as defense secretary, well, by a slim margin, no margin. The vote was 50-50, and it was because Vice President J.D. Vance was the tiebreaker that Hegseth got in there. And good news, that means that, well, the entire plan is coming together, and that's a boom to knowledge. Please hit the thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel. Half of you watching are unsubscribed, and we would appreciate your support. Be safe. We love you, and we'll see you tomorrow on Revolution Radio Studio B, noon Mountain Time, with a replay on Magnetic Reversal News at 8 p.m. And that is a boom.